decide for themselves who they believe and who is telling the truth. But my take is, first of all, I want to give Cameron no credit. Because very often, when the honchos, the high-ups speak, people are too afraid, even if they have a counter, to say what they need to say. I commend him for that boldness to come out and clear the air and give his side of the story. And I also commend him, Andre, for restraining himself from calling the Prime Minister a liar, because that's what I would have done. I would have called him a liar. And if what Mr. Cameron Law has said is the fact, and I have no reason to doubt it, I've seen copies of letters that he has sent to the PS and so on, so I have no reason to doubt him. I'm telling you, it's obvious who is the liar. Okay, now he didn't even say that the Prime Minister call him, give the perception that he's a liar. You know, the Prime Minister gave the perception that he's not telling the truth. You know, Cameron, I don't know. I recommend you for a diplomatic position. You know, but before we go, any further, I want to welcome my guest, the Honourable Sarah Flood. I still call you honourable. To me, in my eyes, you're a very honourable lady, and you were the last honourable person to represent Castries Central, and. You know a thing or two about diplomacy, and so you might tell me, no, Spider, don't say the honey's a liar, you know, but I've said it already, so you can correct me now if you like. But I think people in high offices must be honest, must speak the truth, and must not mislead people deliberately. And for him to accuse the president of the Welfare Association of trying to make mileage, I wonder what mileage he's talking about. Last I checked, the guy is not a politician. So who's trying to make mileage by coming out and distorting what the actual situation is? Now, the thing about it is, I think St. Lucians downplay and overlook that trait of our Prime Minister. Our Prime Minister has been dishonest time and time again. I have a program, a talk show on Mondays, where I have a segment called Secret Lies and Propaganda, and that represents SLP, Secret Lies and Propaganda. And I would say as much as 80% of the clips that I play are of the Prime Minister telling lies to the nation. I mean, and that does not concern St. Lucians, it appears. But when a person cannot be honest, that person cannot be trusted. And if you have to get someone to represent you, it must be someone that you can trust. So there is an upcoming election. Having said that, I ask St. Lucians to do some reflection and ask themselves a few questions. Whether you want someone you cannot trust to represent you, especially if you never know when that person is telling the truth, can you trust that person to represent you and to be the face of your country?
As far as the invoices are concerned,
yeah.
Who prepares those invoices? The Police Welfare Association or somebody else?
No, it's supposed to come from the ministry. Okay, it's supposed to come from the ministry. By the way, the minister is the Prime Minister. Now, you know, he said that, it's interesting, you know, Andre. He said that there's money. There's no problem with money. There's no problem with cash flow. There's money. Now, the Minister of Finance is in a position to say that, mind you. And he is the Minister of Finance. But we're hearing Cameron Law saying that there is no toilet. He went as a toilet paper in the police storeroom. Okay? Uniforms, toilet paper, what else he mentioned. So it means then that if there is money, because the Minister of Finance says so, it means that the Minister of National Security is in dereliction of duty, because it is his responsibility to ensure that the police are provided with what they need as minister. So I'm calling again for the Prime Minister to assess the situation. In this case, the Minister of Finance will get a pass, but the Minister of National Security should be fired because he's not living up to his responsibility. Now let Philip here go and figure that out. You know.
So what about the people who are supposed to be preparing these invoices? They certainly have, obviously have been dropping the ball.
Yes, but if it has been happening for 3 years, like Mr. Law indicated, someone has to look into it. There's the permanent secretary, and if it cannot be solved at the permanent secretary level, the minister has to intervene. He is ultimately responsible for the running of the permanent secretary is the accounting officer, but he is ultimately responsible for his ministry. So it is his responsibility to ensure that a matter such as this is covered. How much do you care? Now, you know, I have to go there. putting people first. Now, if you put me first, the first thing you should be concerned about is my safety and my security. Who is or which institution is responsible for my safety and security? The police. So if you don't care about the police, you care about me? You know? And that is where, glibly uttering slogans is one thing. But the proof of the pudding is in